Will a solar storm or EMP kill your car? And if you can drive, could you even refuel or charge your vehicle after a massive electromagnetic pulse strikes? Have you ever considered the possibility and how you would react? Many people think they're ready for anything, but they haven't learned the first thing about how electromagnetic strikes happen, what they do, or how they could impact transportation in the rest of your life. But they do happen and may be more common than you think. We're going to discuss various sources of an EMP blast, how it could affect delicate components in various automobiles, and what you should know to prepare. So, what is an EMP and what causes it? Before we get into how EMPs affect cars, let's take a moment to explain what causes electromagnetic pulses and what they actually do. Once you understand that, it'll be easier to see how they might impact your vehicle and how to protect yourself. Nature can cause EMPs. Let's start with natural EMPs from solar flares and coronal mass ejections. The Carrington event in 1859 was the strongest on record. Back then, scientists noticed the solar event and connected it to strange disruptions on Earth. Society didn't rely much on electricity at the time, but telegraph systems failed. Sparks from telegraph wires even started fires in some places. If you're interested in learning more about solar storms like the Carrington event, check our channel for more videos. No matter how documented or surprising the Carrington event was, it might not seem relevant since it was before the Civil War. Since then, even in the 21st century and not the 19th, other solar storms have caused EMPs. While they weren't as strong as the Carrington event, they hit a world that depends on electronics for almost everything. Some knocked out satellites and power grids. And while we don't always think about it this way, lightning strikes also generate EMP pulses. They're local, but they can damage electronics or power systems. A few years ago, lightning struck near my house and blew out my TV. The next morning, I saw the scar on a tree a few feet from my back wall. Phew, that was close. Humans have caused EMPs too. We've created EMPs on purpose during nuclear tests or experiments with specialized EMP weapons. These events might be more predictable, but they're also ominous. An attack could generate a strong electromagnetic pulse, and people aren't likely to get much warning. Accidental EMPs happen as well. Circuit switching, electrostatic discharges, or malfunctioning equipment can create pulses that damage nearby electronics. But these are generally small-scale and short-lived. So what would an EMP do to your car? In theory, a pulse could overload and burn out your car's circuits, but not every vehicle would suffer damage. It depends on the car's design, how it's shielded, and, frankly, a bit of luck. You can't control luck, but you can understand the risks to different vehicles and how to reduce them. Let's start with gasoline-powered cars. In a 2008 report to Congress, the EMP Commission tested 37 vehicles made between 1986 and 2002. They ran tests with the ignition on and off. Cars with the ignition off showed no effects. When turned on, 25 vehicles had what the researchers called nuisances, like flashing lights. 3 cars stalled, but they restarted right away. Experts believe cars made before 1980 would likely have no issues at all. Newer gas cars could have minor problems, but processors and sensitive components are usually well shielded by metal. What about EVs? Cars with fuel-injected engines and EVs both rely on electronics. Both usually house those electronics within metal structures that provide some shielding. You can take extra steps if you're concerned. You could park your car in a metal building or use a Faraday car cover designed to block electrical surges. But do you need extra shielding? Your car's electronics are probably already pretty well protected. Many professionals say the car's frame and internal shielding already function like a Faraday cage. Should you drive during an EMP event? Even if your car works, ask yourself what might be waiting for you on the streets. After the Carrington event, telegraph lines kept failing for hours. Your personal car might not be a problem, but you may struggle with infrastructure failures that cause blackouts and lost services. A 1989 geomagnetic storm knocked out Quebec's power grid for 9 hours. It disrupted communications, disabled satellite controls, and even caused sensor failures on the space shuttle. Expect blackouts, no navigation, no reliable communication. And here's the bigger question. Will you be able to refuel or recharge after an EMP? Fuel stations and chargers depend on the grid. If the grid's down, so are they. If you charge at home, unplug your car at the first warning of a storm. If the grid fails, you'll need to wait for power to return. Generators might help, but charging an EV that way can take a long time. Public chargers? Most depend on the grid for power and online systems for payment. Solar-powered chargers could work, but telecom failures might still block payments or access. The same goes for gas stations. Pumps need power. Many rely on the internet for billing. If you store gasoline, you could refuel manually. But most people don't like storing much gas. It's a hazard. Should you leave home during or after an EMP? Personally, I'd be cautious. No power, no internet, no cell service, maybe no radio. That's not a time to gamble. And if your phone or laptop weren't shielded, they might be damaged too. You can buy Faraday bags and boxes, or try DIY solutions like metal trash cans or layers of aluminum foil. Most power outages won't last forever, but smart prepping means keeping food, water, medicine, and cash on hand. What do you think people should do to prepare? Share your ideas in the comments. I read them all, and it helps build our community. Please like and subscribe so we can stay connected, and check out more disaster prep videos on this channel.